complexity for security hardening point of view. So it is advisable. It's minimum level security. At least you have to, and what not used 4-digit password, 5-digit password. You can at least go for 8-digit password. Okay, and you have to disable the SMB because it's going to be enforcing the password actually. Okay. So, sir, who is defined? Is defined acceptable threshold and function of hardening basically is targeting the hardening of your system. You can set here. And whose audience targeting, like system administrators, DevOps, and security teams are basically deploying all those things. Okay. So basically, it's like you're gonna be providing a minimum level of security. Then when we process an SOP, my dear, what is so process is nothing but end-to-end flow, my dear, end-to-end flow. Like I am a new user coming to your company, Daniel. I want to know, hey Daniel, I want to onboard the user into the company. How to do that? Mahesh, please take a look the process, okay, SOP, and you understand easily, like a documentation. Okay, so definitely you can say that here is a repeatable series of actions or steps that produce a specific results. So you have to create a document, whatever, like you can say that database or password change policy, or you can say whatever document. Okay, step by step you can write down, hey, this is the first thing, second thing, third thing, fourth thing, like that, and then you can go to getting it. So basically what is the purpose? It's basically provide the define what is done by whom and when. That is the process basically. Example like the vulnerability management process includes scanning, triaging, patching, and violations. SOP very simple, like defined step-by-step instructions. You can, okay, task level document. You can set here how to carry out document kind of things, and then the guidelines. Guidelines are recommended best practices. Example like you can say a suggested approach to be best practice to improve consistency and quality. Example like you can say it is recommended for encrypt non-sensitive internal data using AES 128. Okay, so at least you can make your data is encrypt in the company. Okay,
Okay.
purpose basically providing flexibility in the company and audience, like everybody is a part of the team idea, all teams are the part of it. So that's the basic policy, standard, baseline,
Okay.
process, SOP, and guidelines you
Okay,
will going
Mahesh.
to be using it.
Mahesh, since now almost 1 o'clock, can we have a break, a lunch break?
Yes, yes, why not, sir? I will. Okay, so we have 1 hour break.
1 hour?
Big, yeah,
Okay,
1 hour,
okay, okay.
1 hour break. You will take easily lunch. I also taking the lunch, so we have. No one's able to see the screen.
Yes, I can see the screen.
Okay, perfectly fine. So we have discussed about policy, standard, baseline, processes, and SOP and guidelines, right? So the next things we discuss about here is okay. So enterprise architecture like TOGAF we have discussed about, standard and policies we have discussed about. Okay, that governance strategies we have discussed about. So technology's point of view, information governance, risk events, threat modeling. Okay, yes, threat modeling is very important topic. So let me tell you how is the threat modeling is all about. Okay. So once you talking about sir, we talking about sir threat modeling, sir. So let me tell you what are the threats and what are the assets and how do you identify all those things. That's very, very important here right now. Okay. So that we have threat modeling. So in the threat modeling, first of all, we have to like define the particular process basically. So let's get going to the same, sir. It's all about, I would say, we have different kind of assets you can say that here, right? I would say that here. Let me show you things. So first of all, if you're talking about some threat modeling, sir, What are the most valuable assets in the company? Okay, the questions are about the threat modeling is once you're going to doing it, you need to let me know, sir, what are the important assets in the company, in the banking or anything you can set here, whatever the industry you are. So you can say that here, threat modeling. Okay. So the couple of questions I have to be you going to be asked to yourself first of all before you're going to do threat modeling. Okay. The question right now here is all those questions. What are your most valuable assets at the company? What is the potential threats of your device? What are the type of attacks you need to be protect against? All those things. How severe are the threats? Okay, like how critical threats you can set here. What countermeasures could you implement on all those things? What are your security requirements you can set here? How does your device meet your security requirements? So give me an examples in the real time, Daniel, if you're facing, or suppose if you know that, if I'm talking about the banking industry or your previous experience, as per the company point of view, what are the critical assets in the company? Let me know.
Uh, the asset of my company,
Yeah, what are the critical assets, valuable assets in the company?
money, because money. We are central bank, right? So we have to circulate money, distribute money. The first is money, and then the second one is how do you say in Indonesia it's cadangan devisa, but in English I think they I don't know what's in English. Devisa. Let me find first in English.
No problem, no problem. You can give me hint, no problem, sir.
Hmm. Okay, wait. Foreign exchange reserve. We have exchange reserve.
Mm-hmm.
Indonesian exchange reserve is the most valuable asset in Central Bank of Indonesia.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I understand. That was some compliance things you can start here. So the thing is to understand here, threat modeling is very structured approach to identify the assets, evaluate the assets, and mitigate security threats into the same and vulnerabilities and in the system before or the during its development. You can set here. Okay, so attackers are going to be compromise your assets, your devices. First thing. Second thing is prioritize security efforts and controls. And how do you know what, doing the risk assessment of the company. So if you are doing it, the risk threat modeling, okay, it's basically what is your risk in the company? Okay, what's the impact in the company? Which risks are most important? Which risks are not important? How the attackers are going to compromise your company? Okay, so that is really helpful into the same year. Okay, so if you're talking about, sir Mesh, where we gonna using asset threat modeling, so it could be used anywhere, my dear, in the company, in you can say it's going to be anywhere that you're gonna be going using it, I would say that here. Okay, so if I'm talking about here asset modeling point of view, so first of all you should be uh, how which are the particular things are going to development. So first thing is web
Uh,
application, web application security point of view. Okay, so if you're running a website, okay, if you suppose you're running a website in the company or your banking websites, what are the critical attacks on your website, and
DDoS.
what,
Hmm.
yeah, DDoS is one of them, and how do you remedy it? Right now we talking about here is asset threatening, like identify the top attacks. Okay, I don't know, you have heard about OWASP top 10. right? Let me share it to you, okay? One second. So OS to obtain is most important things you need to be understand over there. Let me show you. And your managers, everyone gonna using it. Okay, OS top 10. This is. So whatever the different kind of attacks in the company, how do you mitigate? What are the attacks? How do you work on all those things? You can see this is your top 10 web application security at risk. Okay, and suppose I would say Daniel is one of the like security misconfigurations on your website of, okay. So that is the overview. That's the description. What are the different kind of misconfigurations, my dear, and how do you prevent all those attacks? So threat modeling is talking about that what are the assets in the company, how do you find out the threats, and how do you prevent? That is the concept, I would say, threat modeling is all about, right? So I'm going to send to you tomorrow, once we have done the session. Just study from your side and let me know if you have any questions into the same. Let me send you the link. Okay, sir. So I have sent a link to you. Just study. That's very important. Okay. Block on access control, cryptographic failures, injection, SQL injections, insecure design, security